Thank you very much to everyone. I'm Oliana Sula from the University of Durrës in Albania. I work as well at the University of Tirana. My background, I'm an economist, but I teach communication and I teach communication skills. At the University of Tirana, I teach to those students that are preparing to be like we call economic journalists. Mostly they will be focused in becoming journalists in the area of economic and social development. So my presentation of today is focused, now I'm sharing the screen with you, is focused on the skills, the artificial intelligence skills that are needed for the future generation of journalists here in Western Balkan countries. This idea actually came because I did my PhD on digital skills, online networking skills for students, for work and career development. And when I was teaching to journalist students, I pretty much realized this need that these students have to have a different approach on what kind of new skills do they need for their job as journalists, especially with the emergence of AI, and the necessity to have AI skills, especially for the profession of the journalists. So from here was inspired this study. Let's say that some of the trends that AI is having, or is how AI is impacting journalists, we already know. But I'm pretty much more focused on the job of journalist itself. Should the journalist be a programmer, or should we have these kind of students that we have at one side, I mean, some human skills, more human centralized skills, and at the other side, there are some new skills that need to be incorporated to the journalist. Let's say that this has an impact for the media organizations as well, because we all know, especially after the pandemic, that competition between different media organizations of different sizes is increasing. And sometimes we can perceive it as a threat for small media organizations that have small newsrooms that maybe will not adapt very greatly to this new AI-driven environment. And in the middle, we have different studies. Let's say that London School of Economics, Reuters Institutes for the Study of Journalism have made recent studies in this field. And the conclusions are mainly focused in the fact that the job of journalist is not being threatened by AI, but a kind of new skill set will be needed for this journalists in the future. The problem that we face in our countries in Western Balkans is that at one side we have problems of media freedom. We are struggling of different ethical issues in journalism, but at the other side we have a new generation of journalists who need to be aware of these AI tools that can help them to perform better their job. When it comes to literature, when it comes to the research problem and the research questions, actually the aim of this research is to verify the awareness about AI skills in the Western Balkan countries for this new generation of journalists, if they are aware of these skills and what kind of skills are they aware of, and what is their necessity of these skills. From here comes the research question. Concerning the literature review, I can say that I revised the literature, maybe focusing more on a different field, which is the field of online journalism, that it is not directly connected with AI. AI is a broader concept in journalism, but let's say that most studies focus in the concept of online journalism skills rather than in the concept of AI journalism skills for journalists. But what is important is that let's say that I can mention here, let's say that the two different studies, the two last studies. One is performed by Miroshenko, which says that this robotic journalism should work in collision with organic journalism, and World Economic Forum describes the challenges of AI for journalism, such as technical challenges and governance challenges that need different skill sets for the journalist in order to face these challenges and to better perform his or her job. The study that I conducted is qualitative because it focuses rather to explore new phenomena. And I conducted two focus groups during my classes with students of the University of Tirana of the Faculty of Philology, journalism students, and we discussed on the challenges that AI has for the journalist jobs in the context of our countries in the Western Balkans, and on the impact that the skills can have to better perform this job. And let's say that students focus mainly in technical skills. They have a great awareness on what is the necessity of technical skills to do their job. And some of the skills mentioned were data analytics, editing, automating content, sourcing, managing user-generated content. These are all the struggles that, here comes the human dimension of on how the humans can help AI even to structure information, because we all know that AI has difficulties when, especially to deal with unstructured information or to verify sources and stuff like that. Here comes also the ethical awareness, which is really important for the future of the job of the journalist when he or she will be interacting in an AI context. When it comes to future challenges, often by the students were mentioned that journalists in the future will need combined skills. Let's say at one side, skills that a journalist has and has always had in his profession, but then comes this thing of more technically related skills, which are related to AI, which were already mentioned, and how to combine these skills even in the future of teaching, of capacity building for students, especially in our region. This is my study. I would be happy to hear the presentations of the colleagues and of course to discuss on the wrap-up session with questions and answers, of course. Thank you very much.